Contractor, seasoned real estate investors, well, with over 20 years of experience. So this guy comes highly recommended, okay? From flipping houses to managing multi-million dollar investments across Ontario, he's now on a mission. Please take note, guys. This is his mission, okay? To empower every homeowner, contractor, and investor out there to raise their standards, think like a pro, and unlock the full potential of their investment. So if that sounds like you, then you need to connect with Adam. All right? All right. So you just do the right click as
Perfect,
you keep going.
perfect. Yeah, thanks everybody. Yeah, so anyone here do a lot of ChatGPT? So I talk to ChatGPT all day long. And so it knows me. So I asked it. Andrew's like, I need a quick write-up. I was like, all right, ChatGPT, I need you to give me a quick write-up for myself for today. Anyways, 5 minutes later, it finally created the mission statement I've been trying to create over all these last couple years that I've been doing speaking engagements. And that's, just help people. You don't have to spend a lot to make it look good and to make a lot of money. And I'm going to show you a bunch of different projects and stuff that I'll go through. I can kind of guess, remember some of the prices, so I'll give you guys some of the prices that you're asking about before. But you don't have to spend a lot to get a big return on your investment. And a lot of people are spending way too much, and you're never going to get that back. And a lot of people don't understand that. So just a quick background with me. So who am I? So 20 years experience in construction. Started framing houses in high school. Wasn't ready to work full-time, went to school for architectural engineering technology. Bought my first house. We started renting that out to students. And then from there, bought a duplex and rented that out. And then here I am today. So licensed carpenter, contractor, supervisor. I helped supervise some of the largest projects here in the Waterloo region, which I'm so proud to be from here in Kitchener-Waterloo. And to say, my wife hates it and the kids hate it when I take a detour. And they go, why are we taking this detour? I'm like, oh. Remember that one? Construction manager. So right now I specialize in construction scheduling and have the ability to see development at the scale that I get to, and then I love being able to share that with you guys. Real estate developer, coach, speaker. So about 2 years ago, just on a whim, I accepted speaking engagement. I used to be the guy who I hated talking on the phone with people. And I've sat on stages in Toronto and talked in front of 800 people. And I'm glad that I can be here today talking to you guys. Also coach, I've helped people with their first flips. I love helping people out. If you guys have any questions, let me know. And then real estate developer, so we're developing some land right now. So, and then husband and father, which is pretty cool. I remember when my wife came home and had the socks and they were blue, that's what she gave me. I'm like, yes, so I finally got a son. And then I ended up having 2 more, so I got 3 sons. Sorry to my wife that she's got another girl. So strategic renovations, this is very important. So not all renovations are created equal. You can spend $100 million on custom marble and never get that money back. Same thing, you can spend $2,000 on a kitchen from IKEA and you can add $10,000 to that. I remember my very first house, it was all carpet throughout the house. $2,300, got some floor from Lumber Liquidators. Real estate agent came through and said that was probably about a $10,000 increase to your house because now it's hardwood floor throughout everything. I'll show a picture later. So timeless, durable materials. That's the most important thing, especially if you're planning to possibly sell your house in the future. You're not quite sure. That's a big thing. You want to make sure that the materials are going to hold up. And something that people are going to like, right? So white marble, people love that stuff. Purple, black tile, maybe not so much in the future. And then, again, choose upgrades that people want today, but will also pay for tomorrow. So the timeless kitchens and all that stuff. Because that's how you're going to get your return on investment, not going with today's trend. And then you can also make your property work harder for you. So duplexing out your property, adding an ADU, adding extra bedrooms. That's what we did. We rented out to students our very first house. We had extra bedrooms. So you can make money in lots of different options. So I kind of summarized the top 5 value add renovations. First one, solid surface flooring. Again, durable. Think about what you're using it as. If it's going to be a tenant place, you want to make sure it's durable. Luxury vinyl plank is really good. In a lot of the apartments that we're building right now, we're making sure we're doing a glue down vinyl plank. That way you can rip up the pieces easily. But it gives a nice soft feel on your feet still. And like I said, it's super easy to pull up. So if it gets scratched or cut or stained, you can easily just pull up the pieces. and replace it. So we say they're easy maintenance. And then higher perceived value, if you use something like an engineered hardwood or a luxury vinyl plank, you pay just a little bit more, but it just gives that extra value that when someone walks through, it just screams luxury. Like I said, $2,300 in engineered hardwood that's a $10,000 add-on to my house, right? I could have spent $10,000 on hardwood and got it all refinished, finished on site, and I would have been a break even. So just think about those things. So here's just a couple examples of flooring. So we got porcelain tile, we got hardwood, and then in the basement, that's click vinyl. Just make sure whatever you're doing in your basement that you're using a proper underlayment for it. There's multiple different options that are out there. You can easily get them at Home Depot, Rona, Home Hardware. Ask the experts what's best to use in the situation. Don't just put laminate floor down on top of concrete. It's going to swell and warp, and 6 months later, it's going to be complete garbage. So this is what I talked about. This was the hardwood that we installed in the one house. And then I just got caps for the stairs just to do them. And it's not very hard to stain those stairs and clear coat them. Doesn't take a lot of work. A little bit of measuring to make sure they fit in place. But definitely if you're a little bit handy, you can easily do something like that. And then so this was just vinyl floor. I got this. Find the deals. Lumber Liquidators is a great place. I got a skid of this. It was 900 square feet. I got it for $600. Installed it in 3 days with my cousin. And then added great value to the house that used to have all carpet in. So we move on to landscaping and backyards. This is the one thing that most people forget to budget for, or it's the one thing where we always cut the budget from. But when you walk up to a house, and I see this all the time, and I'm sure anyone who's a realtor there as well, you've seen it. You look at the outside of the house, and you're like, oh, 1970s dated brick, and inside it's luxury Toronto condo. Right, and just a little bit of money either to stain the brick, to add some stucco, change that siding out. It's not a lot of money, a couple $1,000s. Instead of getting that tile shower, maybe you got to go with the vinyl tub surround. Again, maybe you just got to cut back a little bit on some of the finishes. Get a cheaper kitchen, perhaps, different doors. People can always change doors in the future. And like I said, first impressions matter. And then carrying the outside in, so decks, patios, stuff like that. People want that, especially you saw with the lockdowns and COVID, more people spending time at home. Less people are going out now. They want to entertain at home, so having that extra living space is a great resale for you. So again, two-tiered deck. You can walk out from your kitchen. You can walk out from your lower living room. Different seating options there. This is a pergola structure that we did with a patio. This is just cleaning up the back entrance. So this is a duplex property, so just cleaning up that back entrance, making a little patio for the people that are in the basement, so they have their own area, because then the main house had this deck and also a patio as well. And again, the zone sitting area, you've got the patio area, you've got the deck, and there's a little kids play area there as well. So that's a great thing too if you've got a triplex, duplex, or quadplex, adding a little playground area for the kids, nice clean backyard. It's just going to invite the tenant profile that you want. You want the families, you want the hardworking people. They're going to pay. They're more likely to stay there. They don't leave as often because they want their kids to stay in the same area. And same thing, first impressions, brand new sod, $400 in dry stack brick and some hostas and a little bit of garden gnomes just to clean up the front entrance from there. And that was, I don't know, I think it was $400 in stone, maybe $100 in dirt, and like $250 in sod to clean up the whole front area. It took a weekend to do. Finished basement, so this is a big one. To be able to truly maximize the value of your house, being able to finish off a space or an unused space and then repurposing it. The flex space, you can take a room. I just did this in my house. We had extra space. It was a toy room for the kids. The kids are now older. Now it's my office, and when my older son gets bigger, it'll be a bedroom for him. So multiple uses for that same space. Future-proof, like I said there, extra bedrooms, bathrooms, so multi-generational living is a big thing. Kids want to stay, if you can't afford a house, then you're going to stay at your home maybe longer. You want some more independence, you can live in the basement, or just future-proof it for duplexes. So adding in those rough-ins while you're there. I've done this on a property before. I'll show you in a sec here, where we put the outlet for the stove there, and then we just put two 15-inch cabinets. If someone wants in the future, you remove those two cabinets, stove slides right in there. Left the space for a dishwasher, so all those little extras you can do. And then entertainment value, so bar areas, media rooms, those wow spaces, so when someone walks in, they're like, yeah, I can envision myself hanging out here. And then safety and comfort, so egress windows, adding new windows. The big thing is, so if you're doing a major renovation, think about that. How are you going to use that space in the future? Should you put an egress window in there, and then also check the standards for your area? Because the bylaws change, even from Kitchener to Waterloo, the bylaws change on window well depth and height off the floor and light space. So there's a lot of those little things that you want to make sure that you're following. So here's just a basement here. So we created a little bar area, entertaining space. This is just a half-finished basement. Opened it up, did that. So this was the kitchen that I said there. So you can see the opening for the dishwasher. Beside that is two 15-inch cabinets, and we had the power there for a stove. We didn't put the stove there because if we had it set up with a stove, then we have to go for a duplex permit, and we weren't going to do that because maybe they wanted to, I didn't want to care about who's using it in the future. It's just there if you want it. I didn't want to spend that extra $10,000, $15,000 to go full duplex, fire ratings, all that stuff, separate upstairs. Save money on this one. But we created a little home theater down there, open up the crawl space. So again, a hangout area for your kids. When they get bigger, they could play video games down there. And then the laundry room just added extra storage. So IKEA cabinets, again, a couple $100 in IKEA cabinets, screw them to the wall, and you're good to go. This was a property that actually we did convert into a duplex there, so we got the escape window. We've got a fireplace there for supplemental heat. We added 2 extra bedrooms down there. And this was just a wide open, like half unfinished space in the future. And so we took a place, that place was $530,000, put $100,000 into it, got a new mortgage at $640, pulled all our money out of it, reappraised at $800. Anyways, we just sold it for $720. Obviously the market's a little down right now, but 21-day close, had an offer within 3 days on the market. I made money, my brother made money, our realtor made money, Buddy's got an asset that's got equity in it, and that freed up space. So there's all these like win-wins you can have as well. So look for those when you're doing it. But again, big return on investment. We had $0 into that property, right? We took $100,000 when we sold it. We had it for 2.5 years. We rented it as well. So we had rental income. We had tax write-off, so multiple different things, and a learning experience. And I get to talk about it here when I meet you guys. So bathroom remodels is a big one as well. I don't know if you got an older house and you ever go in there and the vanities are so low. They used to put the vanities at 30 inches. Then we got smart and put them at 36 inches because your kids can use a stool for a couple years. That was the reason behind it. You wonder why everyone's got bad backs probably, eh? All your parents. So yeah, put your vanities at 36 inches. Kids grow up, same thing, tub showers. A lot of people want tubs for their kids, but maybe you just have one tub and make the other one a nice shower. The different options that are out there. And also think about who the demographic is in the area. If it is a family, demographic in the area, so yeah, make sure you have a tub. But maybe if it's luxury condo or luxury rentals that you're doing, maybe the tubs, you don't necessarily need the tub. So kind of do your judgment on that. Extra bathrooms, so again, like I said, adding one in the basement for just future. Even if you just put the plumbing there, again, if you're moving some plumbing around, get a plumber in, chip up the floor, a couple $1,000s. It's future-proof, so you can sell it that way. User experience, so multi-shower heads, rainfall fixtures, glass doors. People love that stuff when you walk in. Nice, big, bright, open area. Durable design, like we talked about, tile floors. Don't put laminate in your bathrooms. I've seen this on a bunch of people, just run their wood laminate right in. Vinyl plank's not so bad, but even then, the vinyl plank moves. And then you get floor warping because the toilet's bolted down and you caulk stuff to your tub. And so I always say put tile. That was the one thing where I always say put tile in your bathrooms. And then upgrades as well. So heated floors, mood lighting, vanities. Think about, again, the demographics, who's going to do this. If it's luxury, put in those, pay that little extra $1,000 to put in heated floors. Is nothing when you're doing a $100,000 renovation. And people, heated towel bars, there's all these little things. You can get them off for like Wayfair and Temu and all this stuff now. These discounted, the mirrors with the lights in it, lots of different options that you can do. And they're really affordable nowadays. So here's an option. So this was in a triplex. The tiles were completely falling off the walls because they didn't use proper waterproofing. I think they had like 2 or 3 years before the tiles literally fell right off the wall. It was just crumbling. We came in, waterproofed it all. This was about $4,000 to do that bathroom, and it was done in 6 days back together. So 4 days to tile, and then a day to paint and miscellaneous caulking, and then all the finishes. This is another one. This was a custom slate shower, bathtub. Again, this was like $4,000 or $5,000 for all that stuff. Again, just about a week to do that renovation. This was a duplex property that we had, so it had this little 32-inch corner tub. Now, we had rented this for like 2 years to people. I went in there to take the shower apart, and like I could not move, so I felt so bad that I was giving this to people. I'd never used the shower. And we bought the place and rented out the basement and never used the shower. So I ripped that apart, and I ended up from that little 32-inch corner, I made a 4-foot by 3-foot custom tile shower in that same space, just a configuration of how they had built these weird bulkheads. And then again, so this is just triple vanities. We put this in our house. So again, we got 3 boys, triple vanities. Those are $150 each from IKEA. $100 for the countertop. It was an offcut. The sinks, I think, were like $150 a piece, and that tile was like $2 a square foot. So just a quick, simple, and I put the tile on the 45, so it looks a little better. We put a vinyl tub surround in there. Again, it's like $4,000 or $5,000, and you got a custom look. And then the other one, that's my master bathroom there. So that's a little more expensive. That's a $14,000 shower with the glass, with the custom marble, wall panels, with the bench, with the nook, with the double rain shower heads. We got wands. So my wife's a little shorter, so instead of putting 2 heads at different heights so you can have them, so we have wands that you can go up and down. So just think about those things, user experience again. Having something that is adjustable for multiple, sometimes you got the shower head way up here, sometimes the shower head's right here. We get something with a bar that goes up and down, a lot better. And then this was that duplex property I talked about, we just did. So 6-foot by 8-foot space, you got a 32-inch vanity, you got a full shower, and you got a toilet. So. Kitchens, we all know about kitchens. They sell everything. Open concept, large islands. People love that. We don't even use our dining room table. Everyone sits at the island. Lighting, think about the lighting. Pot lights, ambient lighting, under cabinet lighting, lots of different options there. Electrical upgrades, if you're doing any renovation, bring the new supply in, 20 amp plugs everywhere, because now we got Actifries and Nespressos and all those things running. You're going to overload the circuit. Stainless steel appliances or built-ins. We all know that. They get the top value. Granite counters, quartz counters. Think about the counters though, and then user first design. So the flow is really important. Think about the counters. If it's a rental, don't put quartz or granite in there, because if those get damaged in any way, guess what happens? You got to pull out a $5,000 countertop and replace it. If you put the $500 laminate in there, it's real easy to unbolt and replace. So this is just talking about, this was a very functional kitchen, clean but dated from the 70s. We took it out. We took out the load-bearing wall in between, opened it up. So this was an older lady, wanted her kids to be able to sit and help her cook, but she was in this tight little space. So we opened it up and then put the big island there. So that used to be a wall that separated the dining room from the living room. She still had a space to put her dining room table, but now it was opened up. And again, that was all IKEA. That was in total with my labor and everything and new electrical. It was $23,000 for that total job. We did it in 3 weeks. So it doesn't have to cost a lot to make a big difference in a house. This was a galley style kitchen. Structurally, it didn't make any sense to rip that wall and make it open concept. It was going to be too expensive. What we did, where there was a look down to a lower room, we took out the railing that was there, and there's kind of a small table that you could fit there, but we just did seating. And again, more prep areas so your kids can sit there and do homework. You can do lots of baking and cooking, but still very functional. This was a house that we opened up, so this was like luxurious, $40,000. This had another island you couldn't see, but that was a $40,000 approximately to do that main floor restructuring. So again, you can spend the money. This is actually in my parents' house, but their house was probably worth around like $700,000 before we touched it. Me and my brother and my dad spent around $80,000 overall, and the house is worth over $1 million now. So you don't have to, don't spend a lot, and reach out to someone like me who gets discounts everywhere. And this is just a small little basement kitchen in a duplex. So again, you don't have to do a lot. That was $1,200, I think, for the IKEA kitchen cabinets. About $1,000 for the granite. They threw a sink in for me, and it was just under $4,000 for all the appliances. So again, less than $10,000, complete kitchen. And then this is an apartment, top floor. So kitchen redone, so they made sure they went full height with the cabinets there, put the little cabinets up the top, so you're probably not accessing those very often, but it just gives you that extra space. You don't have that unsightly bulkhead. And then, again, this is actually my house right now. 9.5-foot island, 5 seats. Me, my wife, 3 kids, we all sit there at the island if we want. Great for entertaining, functional. We got the prep sink there, we got the main sink. And again, this is a little bit more expensive. This is about $11,000 in granite quartz. And about $4,500 actually just IKEA kitchens It's about $4,500 in cabinets. The counters were double. But that's about $15,000 in quartz that I got for 11. So, because I know the right people. So, hey, if you need a mortgage, go to that guy. We need discount on materials. And that's what I'm saying, right? So this is what I'm saying. I have all this, I got knowledge, but I also have all the connections, and lots of people do, contractors, investors. We all have that, right? We all have this different knowledge. So being able to come into a place like this and share it all is amazing. And I love that, and I get all giddy when I talk about how, it was 2017 New Year, and Rona had a sale. I get an email, 17% off now before midnight. And insulation was on sale for 20% off. Well, for some reason, the coupon double stacked, 37% off. My entire garage, my wife couldn't park all winter long. My entire garage was filled with rock wool insulation, soundproofing, fireproofing, everything. And I was I was getting multiple receipts because I was buying different amounts. Anyways, so I was like, $500 save, $500 save, $300 save, and I posted, and people were like, "That's crazy! How did you just save like $2,500 on like $10,000 in insulation?" And that was it. It was just being smart with the couponing. So, well, final thoughts. The right improvement today will unlock tomorrow's return. So, like I said, doesn't matter if you're renting out extra rooms or you got family living there. You can save money. You can create cash flow, and you don't have to overspend on to get there. We don't need deep pockets, like I said. Make the right connections, find discounts on properties. And every property can be a home and a portfolio asset. So, design for what you want to live in, but also think about and make those changes. Maybe you don't, like I said, you can add a pop of color with a feature wall, add some fabrics to couches and stuff like that. But that way it's future proof for don't get crazy counters and stuff like that. Get something that people are going to want for a lifetime. And the biggest thing is strategic renovations are how homeowners and investors alike build wealth, one ROI driven project at a time.
Love it.
There you go. Thank you, everyone.
There's been a couple of occasions where we've been replacing vanities in bathrooms, and they're so old that the vanity was put in first and the floor went around and sealed to the vanity. The question I have is, when you remove that vanity, you obviously probably want to get something bigger so that you don't have to replace the whole floor, or something the same size. If that's not possible, is it okay if the larger vanity sits on top of the floor and underneath the vanity the floor is not sealed?
Yeah, that's fine. And actually, I have that in my house right now. The same thing where I did take the vanity out. So I did plywood down and then put the vanity on top, toe kick in the front.
Just to level up.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You're not having a lot of water dripping in front. You shouldn't have a lot of water dripping in front of your vanity.
But I'm wondering if there's movement underneath, but if you're...
No, you won't have to. Yeah. Even just screwing down plywood to level off the floor. You put your vanity on top, put a toe kick. Sometimes, depending on the vanity, maybe you got to do a double toe kick, a triple toe kick. There's different options. Maybe pull the vanity off the wall a little bit, get a deeper counter, a backsplash on the counter. Lots of different ways that you can make that work. Yeah.
Thank you.
Like you mentioned in the basement about the windows and window wells, that keep an eye on the bylaw as it can vary municipality to municipality. Have you come across where those bylaws exceeded what's in the Ontario Building Code, or do you think if we just follow?
No, everything, and the building code doesn't necessarily give you all those things. Like, it's not going to say that you need a 3'3". So this is something to keep in mind. Like, you can buy 33-inch window wells at Home Hardware, but you can't get 3'3". And there's a difference between 3'3" and 33 inches. And everybody goes there and gets a 33-inch. And my building inspector, when he came to measure mine on the one property, he's like, "Hey, where'd you get this from?" And it's this King Building Supply in Brampton. There's the only place I could find that had it in stock. Like, Home Hardware could get it, but it would be a week or two, right? I wanted to do it that week. So yeah, because that's their standard, but different. And I should say, the 33-inch is totally fine if it's a bedroom and it's your house. Once you duplex it and you need an egress window, all of a sudden now it changes to the 3'3". So it's just deciphering what you're actually using that space for and what you want to use it for the future. Obviously, always go with the bigger and the better if you can. But again, it's not your fault what people do in the future.
So you mentioned something about the tiles earlier. So would you go with actual tiles, or they have this new vinyl stuff, plastic kind of tiles? Which one would you prefer?
you just like glue down vinyl, but it looks like tiles and you can grout in between. Yeah, I've never had any good. I've always had people come back and complain. I've done that before.
So why?
It just doesn't stick good. Yeah, the different like you're just using a glue, but the vinyl, you have to think of vinyl stretches and grows, so it depends on what you're doing, the amount of traffic you're getting through there, yeah, how hot your house is. There's so many variables there. Whereas when you're using tile and you're using mortar and grout, that's the cement product once it dries. But you gotta make sure you have proper underlayment for what you're doing there. So there's uncoupling membranes, there's cement board, there's mesh products you can use. There's multiple different options that are out there. You just want to make sure that what you're doing is for the thing that you're doing. So go to a place like Tile Master or like Source Flooring and ask the experts that are there what should be used. And I know it's a little bit more money because I've looked at that price before, but like the end result is something that'll last a lifetime versus something that, so. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Adam.